Herzlich willkommen, ihr Blutsaugenden da draußen, zurück zu Vampyr.
This poor creature can't be my maker. Could it be some subspecies of vampire? I must find a place to analyze the blood.
Genau, wir müssen sein Blut analysieren. Geh auf das Boot. So, dann gehen wir aufs Boot.
Where are we headed?
We're on our way to the Pembroke Hospital. It's just across the canal. They'll have a bed for poor Mr. Hampton.
William was... What manner of creature was he?
Predator, prey, villain, and victim. Who can say? The important thing is that he's been stopped.
Duly noted. And the woman? What... Who is she?
What woman?
Oh, don't play me for a fool. You used me to locate that skull. You must know who she is.
And I thought you a gentleman. You shouldn't talk about a lady behind her back, but I will tell you she values her privacy. Were London as peaceful as she appears from the middle of the canal? If only that were the reality of the situation.
To be honest, I've always tried to avoid this part of town.
Pembroke Hospital is the last bastion between the rest of London and the epidemic. The flu has decimated the East End and the war still rages. Welcome to the front lines of a plague.
This is where you work, Dr. Swansea?
I am the administrator of Pembroke Hospital.
I thought you were here in service of your mysterious order, the Brotherhood of...
Of St. Paul's Stole, yes. But first and foremost, I'm a man of science. A physician, like yourself, Dr. Reed.
How do you know who I am?
No need for modesty. You are Dr. Jonathan Reed. A surgeon of some caliber and renown, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, sir.
I knew it! I had my suspicions. But when you took the blood sample from the corpse of poor William, I was certain. Dr. Reed. Marvelous.
Have we met?
I attended 3 of your seminars before the war. I have the utmost admiration for your research. And what a turn of fate. England's most esteemed blood specialist returns to London a vampire.
That word, again. From a so-called man of science.
I understand. Traditionally, the role of science is to refute myth, but when myth walks among us, the Brotherhood of St. Paul has dedicated its purpose to their study. There's so much for you to learn.
Of that, you are right.
Well, then let me be blunt. Join my staff at Pembroke Hospital. As a physician. I suspect you'll not find a better post of employment to contemplate your predicament.
This is sudden. I was returning home to see my sickly mother. But alas, that was before contracting this... affliction.
Dr. Reed, take a moment to consider. The post would be for the night shift, providing a good explanation for your absence during daylight hours. You'll be adequately reimbursed, and have a place to hide. I even had the forethought to bring some clean clothes. So, what do you say?
It seems I have little choice, but yours is a generous offer, so I thank you.
Brilliant! Oh, Jonathan, this is one for the book, and the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Also sehr interessant. Der liebe Jonathan arbeitet jetzt wieder im Krankenhaus.
Dr. Swansea, thank goodness. I was beginning to be concerned.
Worry no more, Nurse Crane, for I bring good news.
Oh, Doctor, what a night. We lost 2 more patients. Nurse Scow said she couldn't take it anymore and resigned.
Yes, well, I'll make a new rota in the morning. In the meantime, find a good bed for Mr. Hampton. Be sure to pay attention to his needs.
Of course, Doctor.
Oh, and Dorothy,
Yes, Doctor?
Dr. Reed here has just returned from the front. He served King and Country and will be joining us here at Pembroke. We're very lucky to have gained a surgeon of his talent, and one so experienced in blood transfusions.
That is good news indeed, Doctor.
Oh, yes. Here at Pembroke, it's not what we have, but what we haven't. It's only thanks to Nurse Crane and the staff that our ship doesn't sink. If you have any questions, just ask her.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Your assistance is required, Dr. Swansea, immediately.
Welcome aboard, Jonathan. We'll catch up after my rounds. Coming, Nurse Crane. I'm coming.
You can do better than that. Nah. It's my turn.
Rotten or pristine, each heart contains the seeds of life. Drink at this river, try it all.
Oh, come on, you bastard. I won't bite.
Sir, please. You've lost too much blood. Calm yourself.
You think I didn't notice? Stop your staring and get me to an hospital, you arse!
Insulting a good Samaritan. Not exactly the way to get rescued.
All right, sorry. I am in pain here. My guts are spilling out onto the street and you're yabbering on.
Yes. That's a very nasty wound you've got there. Take my word, I am a doctor. Dr. Jonathan Reed.
Name's Clay Cox. I'd appreciate you helping me to a better place, Doc.
Follow me, Mr. Cox. Let me assist you to that better place.
Bring this fading light into the shadows. Dance with him the dance of life and death.
No more. Not tonight. Not like this. I will not take another life.
Whoa, I feel giddy.
It is wise for the huntsman to sometimes let his prey go, but no famished hunter can run for long.
You, Dr. Doctor, where have you been? I've little time to play hide and seek with new staff members, no matter how illustrious they may be.
I found a wounded man by the docks. He answers to the name of Clay Cox. He requires urgent medical attention.
Already making the rounds? That's the Pembroke spirit. I'll ask our porter, Milton, to bring him back immediately.
Thank you, nurse. What can I do for you?
Dr. Swansea insisted we provide you a quiet office. You'll find it on the second floor with your name on the door.
Thank you. Nurse Crane, isn't it?
Yes, Dorothy Crane. Welcome to Pembroke Hospital, Dr. Reed. Your office has been prepared.
I would like to ask a few questions first. And Mr. Hampton, the patient we brought in, how does he fare?
I gave him a sedative to help him sleep. Poor thing was in quite a state of shock.
What kind of man is Dr. Swansea?
Well, you accepted the job from him. I thought you would have known about your employer.
It's right to assume Dr. Swansea knows far more about me than I do about him.
You'll get to know him soon enough, and better than me. The administrator has better things to do than mix with us.
Apologies, I've only just met him the once. This is sudden. I've only just returned to England.
Dr. Swansea is a brilliant surgeon and the most compassionate physician.
If you could point me in the direction of my room again, nurse.
Second floor of the hospital, left after the stairs. It's the last vacant office at the end of the corridor.
Alles klar.
Thank you, Nurse Crane.
Okay. Glasviolen. Was bist du für einer?
Good evening, sir.
So it is true. The famous Dr. Reed has joined us. I can't think of any better news during these terrible times.
Do we know each other?
Actually, yes. We met once before, at the Rockefeller University in New York.
Dr. Tippett, yes, I remember. I was assisting Professor Carell in his research about coronary bypasses. He had nothing but praise for you.
He was also very confident about your future. And look at you now. Eminent surgeon and blood transfusion specialist.
What is the Pembroke Hospital situation? And please, speak freely.
This hospital is not exactly the best of London. I'm sure you are used to working in a better environment.
It's more than enough. In any case, the personnel of a hospital are much more important to me than the building.
Don't be misled by appearances, Dr. Reed. This hospital does not lack talented people. It just lacks hope.
What can you tell me about the staff in the hospital?
Some are really good, and others are not so good. But during this troubled period, there is no time for slander. I prefer to focus on the positive character traits.
Tell me more about cherished people, then.
Nurse Brannigan is a pearl. She is the most helpful and dedicated nurse I've ever worked with. A clever and cheerful woman.
You really seem to admire her skills.
I'll go even further. If she was a man, she would be a damn fine practitioner.
Any opinion about the management?
I don't always agree with Dr. Swansea's reserve, but I must admit he does all he can to keep this facility running during this crisis.
Ah, yes, the burden of command. I was fed up with this concept while serving as a medical officer.
Don't get me wrong. Swansea's a good administrator. I just wish he would get out of his office now and again.
Hinweis benötigt, Hinweis benötigt. Hier Leben, persönliche Fragen. Hinweis benötigt, Hinweis benötigt.
Goodbye, Dr. Tippett.
Okay. Gibt's ja noch irgendwas, was ich looten könnte? Sieht nicht so aus, ne? Und schießen oder angreifen oder so kann ich ja auch nicht alles. Da weiß ich Bescheid. Was ist das?
Good evening, sir. I'm Dr. Jonathan Reed. I'm new here.
I've already heard about you, Dr. Reed. I'm Milton Hooks, the ambulance driver for this shithole of a hospital.
That's quite a blunt introduction, Mr. Hooks.
You can call me Milton. I like to speak my mind, Dr. Reed. Perk of the job. Don't judge me, and I won't judge you.
I'm not sure I understand what you're talking about.
Well, I'm no doctor, but I'm pretty sure a gun can't be used as a surgical instrument.
You have a keen eye. I learned to shoot during the war, and have carried one ever since. Old habits die hard.
No need to explain, Dr. Reed. And if you ever need a better gun, remember, I may have something for you.
I'd like to see your goods.
Wise choice, Dr. Reed. A reliable gun is what everybody needs these days.
Guck einer an, der hat hier eine Miltons Schrotflinte. Ich könnte auch Sachen verkaufen. Ah, die brauche ich ja alles. Ach, das ist der Blunder, alles klar.
Good evening, Milton.
Good evening.
Persönliche Fragen. Wen war es benötigt? Leben in London.
Are you really smuggling weapons through the hospital?
And why not? I've already been attacked by patients, you know. And by gang members willing to steal my money.
But you're not defending yourself. You're selling guns to civilians.
You keep people alive your own way, Doctor. I offer them another way to protect their health.
How is the situation around here?
You want to hear the situation is all right? It's fucking awful. We lack everything. And it's getting worse every day.
So what do you do exactly in this hospital? Apart from smuggling guns, I mean.
I've been an ambulance driver since... too long, I guess. I bring sick people here night and day. It's a dirty job, but I get it done. Most of the time.
Since you're on the front line, how is the sanitary situation in this vicinity?
It's a complete disaster. It's even getting dangerous to enter some streets or buildings. Even the locals attack you.
It sounds like things have been a bit rough recently. What's happened?
Yesterday I got attacked by the patient I was bringing here. I escaped through the hospital's garden, but I lost my wallet when I was running.
You left an infected patient outside the hospital? That's incredibly dangerous.
Go there yourself if you want, but be careful, Doctor. I'd rather not bring your dead body back.
Mitternacht im Garten von Gut und Böse. Alles
Goodbye,
klar.
Milton.
Betritt den Garten im Hinterhof.
Dr. Swansea is right. This place seems perfect to conduct my research.
So many deaths. And what of my
Oh, guck mal.
life?
Good evening, Mr. Hampton. How do you feel?
Dr. Reed, is it? Oh, sir, I must apologize for my behavior.
What do you mean?
I was not myself in the factory. Fear and exhaustion made me say awful things to you, I'm afraid.
You remained perfectly nice and polite. A little delirious, perhaps. But who wouldn't be after enduring an abduction?
Thank you, Doctor. That's a relief. Now all I need to do is rest and return to my flock.
Leben in London.
Do you know Tom Watts, the bartender from the Turtle? I met him before I found you in the canning factory.
Tom? Yes, of course. Always the helping hand, good old Tom. Without men like him, corruption and despair would have wiped out the East End long ago.
People are still in despair.
How could it be otherwise? The authorities have left us all to rot in this contagious nightmare. No drugs, no advice, nothing. It's a damn shame.
Who should I avoid in this part of town, then? Any particularly evil figures?
Not really. Most men and women are just doing their best. And it's not my habit to speak ill of people I know, Doctor.
How did you end up in William Bishop's den?
I had received alarming news about his recent behavior. I went to his place and he refused to let me go.
Why did he abduct you?
William was an alcoholic. His addiction suddenly changed to blood. I don't know why. Just like a patient I met here. This Miss Hawcroft.
You dared to enter this awful place alone. You're a hero, Mr. Hampton. Or a fool.
I'm just a man trying to help his friends, Dr. Reed. William Bishop was a conflicted soul, searching for light.
Alles klar.
What is the general situation in the East End docks?
The situation has always been tough, with a lot of tensions between the gangs and the dockers' trade union. The Wet Boot Boys are very nervous since they lost their leader.
Who leads the gang now?
Since Clay Cox went missing, it's his wife Edwina who runs the show, with the assistance of her minion, Dooth Digby.
Has the gang been threatening you?
Ah, no. I've had this nickname for so long, you know, the sad saint of the East End. No one dares to bug a saint, not even criminals.
Okay. Persönliche Fragen. Wie fühlen Sie sich?
How do you feel, Mr. Hampton? Medically speaking, I mean.
I feel exhausted. Beyond exhaustion, actually. William drank so much of my blood in his madness. I feel empty.
You're in good hands here. Dr. Swansea is well versed in blood transfusion, and I'm sure he'll take the best care of you.
Thank you, sir. I believe all I need is rest. And then I can go back to the people who need me.
What do you do for a living, Mr. Hampton? I can't help but notice the cross around your neck.
I manage a night asylum for the poor and homeless of the docks. And I try to guide the lost and hesitant on the right path to our Lord.
Why didn't you use your cross against William Bishop? To repel him somehow?
That's a very strange question, Doctor. A cross is no magical token, if that's what you were trying to say. Not mine, anyway.
Are you a priest, Mr. Hampton? A deacon, maybe?
Not at all, Doctor. I'm just a man of faith willing to preach the good word.
Okay.
Have you made friends since you arrived?
Not really. But I recognize Miss Harriet Jones. I knew her when she lived by the docks. That poor woman had such a miserable life.
You never came to see her here at Pembroke? Receiving visits when sick can be an important part of the healing process, you know. We're not just bodies.
You're preaching to the converted now, Doctor. To be truly honest, I thought she was dead. She left the docks many months ago.
Okay.
Goodbye, Mr. Hampton. We'll talk again later.
Okay, okay.
It's locked, all right.
It's locked. Wer ist das?
Good evening, miss. I'm Dr. Reed, the new surgeon at the Pembroke Hospital. And who are you?
Your name has no meaning to me, mortal. You're nothing but dust blown by the winds of eternity.
I beg your pardon?
What are you begging for, mortal? My clemency? Well, tonight maybe I'm inclined to mercy. You'll never forget the night you met Thelma Howcroft.
You keep calling me mortal. Why is that? And if I'm mortal, what are you?
Well, Dr. Reed, if you must know, I'm a vampire.
Alles klar.
And why do you believe you're a vampire?
I don't need to believe anything. It is what I am. It is what I feel within this hollow shell of flesh.
Please, describe to me how you feel. What is it like to be a vampire?
I can hear my body crumble from the inside as my flesh cracks and fades. I sense the last pulse of postulant blood within my drying veins. I need new blood.
I see. Have you ever heard of Cotard syndrome, Miss Howcroft?
Never.
It's a mental illness discovered by a French neurologist named Jules Cotard. The affected patients are delusional. They believe that they are putrefying, that they are dead, a ghost or a ghoul, or in your case, a vampire.
Delusional, you say? Oh, sad and petty mortal. You can't even begin to understand the concept of immortality. And you think it is I who am delusional.
Wenn du wüsstest.
I'm assuming you must be a patient here. Am I right, Miss Howcroft?
It's only a cover. To hide from my enemies. I can leave whenever I want. As a woman, a spirit, fog, or bat.
Who are these enemies you mentioned? Can you describe them?
I cannot say for sure. But I sense their eyes on me from nearby. I feel them watching me every time I visit the garden near the morgue.
The staff here are not your enemy. They're here to help you, to care for you.
I'm not speaking of the doctors in white. I'm speaking of the men and women who hunt me. For I am a vampire.
I see. Don't worry. These people will not find you here. I'll personally make sure they leave you alone.
Thank you, mortal. But do not interfere with them, for you are no match for those that hunt me.
Alles klar. Persönliche Fragen?
Who are you really, Miss Howcroft? I mean, apart from being a vampire.
Is that not enough for you, puny mortal? What do you require? Proof of my powers?
I'm curious to know who you were before becoming a vampire.
No, it was such a long time ago, I don't remember. Centuries of unholy life can have strange effects on one's minds, you see?
Alles klar.
I'll leave you, Mistress of the Dark, to your nocturnal activities.
Die Alte.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Unless you're here to fix my face. No. I don't think you can help me.
I'm Dr. Reed. I've recently taken the position of head surgeon here. War injuries, am I right?
You guessed right, Doctor. German shell took my pretty little mug right off. But they still call me Thomas Elwood.
How is your stay with us, Mr. Elwood?
Oh, it's bliss. I just escaped death in the trenches to be surrounded again by the moans of the dying.
Can I ask you precisely why you're a patient here?
It's the pain, sir. The drugs don't work. It just hurts under the scars, if you get my drift.
Can I do anything for your pain?
Nurses gave me a bunch of pills. No effect. Told you. It's like the flames are under my skin, burning away.
Who is treating you? Is someone in particular looking after your case?
Nobody since the old and tired doctor spoke to me. Started to think I was forgotten about. Wouldn't blame you.
You don't seem worried by that.
My face hurts so much more when I smile or cry. I've learned it's easier not to speak. But be assured I'm smiling inside.
Thomas Elwood, persönliche Fragen.
How close are you to Miss Hawcroft? Are you aware that she thinks she is a vampire?
To wait for her next nibble is the best reason to stay here. Every time she approaches my bed, she treats me like something tasty. A normal person.
Aren't you afraid? She may hurt you if the game goes too far.
She's quite harmless, I can assure you. Her head's broken inside is all. While I'm busted on the outside. But she's still beautiful. Living proof that there's hope for me.
So do you let her bite you? You know that's not sanitary.
And why not? She's only supping a few drops of me blood. And the pain, it's real for once.
She could decide to bite less willing patients.
Then it's another good reason for me to stay here, Doctor.
You do realize she's mentally disturbed. It's called the Cotard syndrome. She truly believes she's a vampire.
In her madness, she never refers to my scars. And frankly, if I could, I'd join her world. It seems much more fun than the real one.
Okay.
Where were you stationed, sir? Did you serve for long?
I really don't want to talk about all this shit.
No offense. I was pushing too much. I served in France myself. I just wanted to know what happened to you.
You were an officer, weren't you? Then I doubt we fought the same war, sir. No offense.
Okay. Alles klar. medizinische Untersuchung, Blut ist gesund.
Goodbye for now, Mr. Elwood.
Okay.
On every street corner.
So.
Daily
I wonder
routine.
why the Goswicks came here in the first place.
Ich gucke mir die ganzen... Ich unterhalte mich noch mit den ganzen Leuten dann später. Ich will jetzt erstmal fix in mein Büro. Oh Gott, hier sind noch so viele Leute zum Unterhalten. Ah, ein Spiegel. Hier sind so viele Menschen. Ich muss gleich die Treppe hoch, ne? Es sind noch so viele Ärzte, mit denen ich mich unterhalten muss. Eieiei. Ja gut, das machen wir später noch. Was haben wir hier? Im Namen barmherzigen verlassen Sie sich auf Sie. Krankenschwester werden Sie jetzt brauchen. Melden Sie sich beim nächsten Registrierungsbüro des Ministeriums für Arbeit und Wehrdienst. Unterschreiben Sie an 15 Kingsways, London. Sind hier gleich noch mehr Leute zum Unterhalten? Das nehme ich mit. Die Säge nehme ich auch mit.
I cannot enter.
Dr. Reed.
This must be the place. It's definitely away from prying eyes. Relegated to the shadows. A kingdom of my own. At least I won't be sleeping in a coffin.
Jetzt muss ich nicht in einen Sarg schlafen.
The flower's dying. It needs water.
Artikel über Ecken. Es ist eine seltene Gelegenheit und beinahe ein Privileg, sich in einen Vampir zu nähern, ihre faszinierenden psychologische Merkmale mit wissenschaftlichen und rationalen Augen zu betrachten. Dies sind ein paar der interessanten Fähigkeiten, die ich persönlich beobachtet habe, während ich über die letzten 10 Jahre Vampire oder Eckens, wie sie sich selbst nennen, befragt habe. Übernatürliche Geschwindigkeit. Ein Vampir kann sich in jeder Lage wie ein Sterblicher verhalten und bewegen. Aber ein Überblick erkennt, dass die besonders scharfsinnig sind und schneller als jeder Sterbliche reagieren können. In einigen seltenen Situationen, Furcht und Überraschung, Fluchtbedürfnis sah ich, wie ein Vampir sich so schnell bewegte, als würde er einfach verschwinden. Woanders wieder auftauchen, das menschliche Auge kann ihrer Bewegung nicht folgen. Wenn sie so schnell sind, doch zaubern sie nicht und lösen sich auch nicht auf. Es ist nur eine natürliche Geschwindigkeit. Für mich ist es eine katzenartige Eigenschaft. Sie können so schneller und weiter als rennen, als springen und ausweichen. Ich habe weiterhin bemerkt, dass die Geschwindigkeit erschöpft, dass sie an eine psychische Grenze gebunden sind. Mesmerismus. Eine der mächtigsten Fähigkeiten der Vampire ist es, Sterbliche dazu zu zwingen, ihnen zu gehorchen. Ich nenne diese Mesmerismus. Es hat aber nichts mit den Fähigkeiten des Sterblichen zu tun, ein Subjekt in andere mentale Zustand zu versetzen. Ein Vampir kann den Willen eines Sterblichen beliebigen beugen und sogar brechen. Ein Vampir, den ich befragt habe, sagte mir, dass je mehr Subjekte wären, desto dauerhaft wäre der Schaden, da ein Vampir wortwörtlich die Psyche eines Opfers zergliedern kann. Derselbe Vampir erklärte mir, es brauche Zeit, diese Fähigkeiten zu meistern. Je nach Subjekt könne das Ergebnis außerdem stark variieren. Eine falsche Erinnerung einpflanzen, eine schmerzhafte Löschen, die Möglichkeit seien unbegrenzt und beängstigend. Gespür für Blut. Dies ist wohl die schädlichste aller Eigenschaften, da es aus ihrer vielen Tragödien für die Vampire und für uns entstanden sind. Vampire gieren nach Blut. Sie müssen sich mit ihrem Willen selbst unterdrücken, um sich fieberhaft jeden Tropfen Blut nachzujagen, dem sie gewahr werden. Es erhält sich aufrecht nur durch Blut, können sie ihre übernatürlichen Fähigkeiten voll ausschöpfen und obwohl er nicht durch Unterernährung und Durchsterben kann ein ausgehungerter Vampir sehr schwach sein. Dieser Trieb, dieses Verlangen nach Blut erklärt ebenfalls, warum es Vampire derart an Erregung versetzt. Ein Vampir gestand mir, der Geruch und die Anziehungskraft von Blut seien so stark, dass sie ihn manchmal blind mache, wenn sie sich konzentrieren. Kann ein Vampir das Blut um sich herum fast sehen, in wärmeren Körpern, durch Wände hindurch, eine vermutlich saubere Waffe etc. Derselbe Vampir verriet mir, dass er sehen, ob wir sterblich gesund Blut haben oder krank seien und dass er in seiner Umgebung in manchen Fällen Krankheiten, infizierte Kleidung und blutige Gegenstände erkennen könne. Sollte dies wahr sein, würde diese Eigenschaft in der Medizin unzählige Anwendung finden. Es wäre kaum zu glauben. So, okay. Dann machen wir das noch fix.
William Bishop's blood is much more unstable than human blood and shows extensive mutation. But this is not what happened to me. I must keep on searching. The sun is about to rise. I can feel it. I'll continue tomorrow night. I have so much time now.
So. Wir können wieder skillen. Aber immer auch nicht das. Schade. Zielfähigkeiten. Ja, wir machen mal unsere Gesundheit ein bisschen hoch. Und unseren Biss. Den pumpen auch mal ein bisschen. Blutzucker, deine Blut, Rosa, du hast ja dein Blut in meinem Biss. Geringung, du unterbrichst den Blutzucker in den Venen deines Ziels und machst es wehrlos. Das hört sich alles ganz sick an. Da fehlt was. Was ist damit? Das könnte ich machen. Und das könnte ich auch. Okay. So, was können wir hier noch machen? 300, 200, 300, 300, 300, 300. Alles klar. Gut, dann bestätigen wir das erstmal wieder. Jo.
If I'm to stay here until my research is complete, I'd better learn to hide my true nature from the mortals. But what about my thirst for blood?
Okay, wir machen jetzt hier erstmal einen Cut und sehen uns sonst einfach im nächsten Part. Vielen Dank fürs Zuschauen, wie immer, und haut rein.